Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a candelabra with skeletons, and I'll also be doing a skeleton, and I call him Mr. Ricketts. Let's get started. Here I am removing the tag, and you have to remove the little tab at the top of the skeleton, and then you need to remove all of the limbs from all three skeletons. Yes, you need three skeletons. You won't be using all of the pieces, but you need three skeletons. Here are the canvases that I'm using. They're the smallest ones that the Dollar Tree sells. I had them for a while. I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but I decided to use them as a platform for my candelabra. They aren't very strong, so I didn't, want to use them for anything else unless you take them apart and use the wood. Here I am adding some black paint. It gives them some dimension, and I think it just gives it also a spookier look as well. I went around to several Dollar Trees looking for skeletons. Believe it or not, some places are just out of things. People are doing a lot of DIYs. There are a lot of new YouTubers like myself out here. So supplies aren't as plentiful as they usually are. I've always been a DIYer, but this year I decided to go ahead and make a YouTube. Here I am painting the canvases black to give it, that spookiness, Have you guys been out looking for supplies? Has it been difficult, easy in your area? For me, it's been a bit of a challenge. Here I'm taking the leg and I'm gonna attach it to the platform so they'll rest on there. I just thought this was a pretty cool idea. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comment. These little strings, they just get in the way so bad. But Halloween, they kind of, can go with, you can kind of go with the flow with them. Here I'm going to attach the arm back to the skeleton. Trying to put the arm in position by just gluing it doesn't work. You need way too much glue, so it's just easier to detach and glue it back on. You need to glue the neck so that it won't move on you. And here I am cutting the head, top of the head off. It just seems so cruel, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So here I am cutting off the top of the head and going to replace it inside out so that the candle can sit down inside of it. I suggest you use a lot of glue on this part because if not, it's going to slide, as you'll see where I had to readjust it and put more glue inside because it just simply wasn't enough. Hot glue and plastic, not quite the greatest combination. Here I'm removing the hand. I also remove the legs and use them as a holder as well for the tea lights. Does that make this a tea light labra? No. I guess it's just a candelabra and we're using tea lights, whatever. So you have to make sure the glue is kind of tacky before you add the pieces together, as you saw as I was playing around with it, and then hold it for a minute. Here I cut off the little piece because it was in the way, and that way it'll kind of sit flush with the foot. Make sure you add plenty glue. That way it'll sit well and stay. I don't know if you want to use your strongest glue. I don't know. That might work. But the tea lights are kind of lightweight, so it also works with the hot glue. I prefer Gorilla Glue. It's pretty darn strong. I don't really deal with the hot glue at the Dollar Tree. It just does not have the hold that Gorilla Glue has. That Gorilla Hot Glue is awesome. Here I'm attaching another limb so that it will hold one of the tea lights up. And I add more glue just to reinforce it. Adding more glue, more and more glue, more and more glue. Sorry if you can hear in the background, my mini fridge just came on. Here I attempt to cut a hole for the top limb to sit for the tea light, but it just wasn't enough, so I had to use a hot knife. It was just too thick and I didn't want to break my project. I had come so far. So yeah, if you guys have a hot knife, it will probably make this whole project go just a little bit easier for you guys and much faster. So here I have some wooden beads. I got them off of Amazon. Let me know if you guys would like the link. I have the link for these beads. I think they were 13 bucks and it was like this really huge bag. Maybe like, I don't know, it was like 1,000 beads or something like that. And here is number 2, Mr. Ricketts. My favorite. This is like my favorite. I'm so grateful that I could get him to stand. I didn't want to add a wire or anything like that. So here I'm painting Mr. Ricketts white. Mr. Ricketts is all white. No other colors on him. You know, like no black to give him dimension. I just wanted him all white. I wanted him to stand out because I was adding other things to him. So make sure you paint the top part first and it dries, and then flip him over so that you don't lose the paint that you've added. I didn't want to add a top coat. Yeah, here I am with my heat gun. Yeah, because you know, I'm impatient. And make sure you paint the front and back of him really well. And as you can see right here, they put his left and his right foot on the wrong side. I don't know who did that, but they definitely weren't paying attention at the factory. So make sure you add some glue to make sure his feet stay straight when you stand him up. Gotta love Mr. Ricketts. As you'll see, I started adding some glue in the front part of the joints. That's a no-no. Don't do that. And I did that to all of his joints. And then I quickly realized, yeah, I'm going to have to remove all of this in order to get him to stand properly. So as you see, I'm adding some glue so that the arm will sit flush. And I add a little bit on the sides and at the bottom just to give him a little more security for his hand, because Mr. Ricketts is going to be holding his wonderful cane. Reinforce that shoulder so it doesn't move. Here's those wood beads I was just talking about. Yeah, there's a ton of beads for 13 bucks, you guys. Add some black paint. And on this part of the project, I decided to add a little bit of sterling silver just to give the platform some dimension. Paint the beads as well and give that platform a nice look. I just love that sterling silver paint. I need to get more. Got it at Walmart if you guys are wondering where the sterling silver paint came from. Got these wooden dowels at, I believe I got these at Walmart. I take two, glue them together, and then I take the other two, put them on top, and glue them all together. Now, I had to make sure that this was tall enough. It was, but I think it was just a little too tall. I should have cut it down at least probably an inch. Canes aren't usually as tall, but I don't know. But Mr. Rickett, maybe he's just a little different from everyone else. Here I'm cutting a piece of fabric. I got this fabric at the Dollar Tree as well. And I am wrapping his cane. I didn't glue the bottom because I wanted it to be able to sit flush with the platform that he will be standing on. And then I take one of these Dollar Tree sparkly spiders and add it to the top. And I just figured Mr. Ricketts should have a nice cane. Most guys have a nice cane with something different about it. Something that fits their personality. Here I'm working on the hat. This was a new experience for me, this hat. So I used a ribbon container to figure the size for his head. Cut the center to make sure that it would sit on top of his head properly, and go with the tube that I'm using. This tube is from a wrapping paper that I had. Wrapping paper rolls are much more sturdier than, say, paper towel rolls a lot of times. Make sure you get the inside of the paper towel roll and also the outside to reinforce. Here I'm using a sock that I got from the Dollar Tree. I just thought this argyle was a nice look for Mr. Ricketts. This hat was a bit of a test for me. I've never done a hat before, so I did the best I could. If anyone has any suggestions for me for the next time that I need to do a hat, I'm all ears, guys. So I've tucked it in and folded it over and then glued down the flap. That was the best I knew what to do. I just knew I wanted him to have this hat and it to be with this material, with the design of the argyle. I think it turned out pretty good. What do you guys think? I also decided to use some of the sock to go around the brim of the hat, and then I tucked it in and glued that as well around the base of the top of the hat. Thought his hat needed some character, so I added some spiders. Figured the spiders match the cane. Give Mr. Ricketts a little taste. Here I decided to add a little glue to the bottom of the foot to get Mr. Ricketts to stand. I did not know how I was going to do it, but I managed it, guys. So here I'm gluing down the cane to the base and Mr. Ricketts' hand to the cane. And then I decided to add his hat. I glued it down, and here's the final result. Mr. Ricketts and my candelabra. I just love the way that platform turned out, and he's just standing there looking all dapper in his top hat with his bow and his cane. Here are some other projects of mine. And there's my candelabra. I think it turned out pretty good. I've got the glue hanging off like it's been melting. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you like, comment, and please subscribe, guys, and come back for more. Bye.